The woman's fingers tapped rhythmically against her face, secretly transmitting a message in Morse code to the death row inmate across the courtroom. The man, capturing the signal, responded with a methodical series of blinks. Unbeknownst to everyone else, the pair was hatching a heart-stopping plan for a prison break. Since the man's reply was quite extensive, Eileen didn't dare slack off for even a second. She hastily grabbed a pen and jotted down the information. When the trial concluded, Arthur was sentenced to death by execution, scheduled 2 days later. Yet, his face showed no trace of panic, for they had already devised a foolproof escape plan. Following Arthur's detailed instructions, Eileen rushed to a seemingly ordinary brick wall on the side of the road. She gently pressed the third brick, revealing a cleverly disguised door that slowly opened to reveal an incredibly sleek sports car inside. Eileen quickly hopped in and sped off towards the 37-kilometer highway marker. Upon arrival, the car's sensors activated, opening a remarkably camouflaged stone door. Surprisingly, it led to a secret base. Eileen promptly entered the code provided by Arthur, successfully unlocking the safe to reveal stacks of cash. She grabbed a few bundles and stuffed them into her bag. Then, she hurried over to a cabinet filled with mysterious potions, swiftly grabbing a yellow and a green vial. The next day, Eileen got all dolled up and sought out George, the Deputy Minister of Justice, who had long harbored feelings for her. Her stunning beauty left George head over heels, willing to do anything for her. Seeing that he had completely fallen into her trap, Eileen playfully teased him, claiming she wanted to test his devotion. She nonchalantly picked up the day's newspaper from the table and casually mentioned her desire to visit Arthur, who was about to be executed. George immediately objected, knowing full well that Arthur was an extremely dangerous murderer. Eileen lied, saying she wanted to see him the night before his execution for a thrilling experience. George furrowed his brow, thinking the idea was utterly insane, but not wanting to ruin the beautiful woman's excitement, he reluctantly agreed. However, he had one condition: he must accompany Eileen. Little did he know, he had already fallen into Eileen's meticulously crafted trap. The two arrived at the prison and met with the warden. George falsely claimed that Eileen was a special agent who needed to secretly interrogate Arthur before his execution. The warden, out of good intentions, warned them that their interrogation would likely be fruitless. Ever since Arthur learned of his sentencing, he had fallen into a bizarre state, his eyes vacant, refusing to eat, drink, or speak, and completely unresponsive to any external stimuli. The warden speculated it might be due to his fear of death. Little did they know, it was all an elaborate ruse masterfully orchestrated by Arthur. Despite the warden's doubts, he followed George's request and cautiously locked the three of them in a room. The moment the door closed, Arthur's escape plan was set in motion. Half an hour later, the trio emerged from the room. The following day, Arthur was escorted by the police to the execution ground. Strangely, he appeared exceptionally calm, his eyes vacant, showing no hint of fear. This piqued the detective's suspicion, and an inexplicable unease welled up inside him. Just then, someone nearby mumbled that Arthur's condition resembled that of a drug addict. In an instant, the detective's face turned deathly pale as if struck by a sudden realization. He dashed towards the center of the execution ground, but it was too late. The guillotine blade, carrying the aura of death, thundered down.